This is Patrik Pietschmann's Covers, An Order of Insanity, Part 6. If you haven't watched the other 5 episodes, there will be a link to a playlist down in the description where you can watch them all there. But as it stands, we currently have 48 out of 109 covers ranked. Today we have 8 more for you. Before we start, I have a lot of changes to make to the current tier list. Most of the changes being around the medium and hard tier. The first change we're going to make is moving Interstellar down into the easy tier. I think I'll put it just behind Misty Mountains from The Hobbit. I'll also be moving Black Panther down to hard tier, just above Up is Down from Pirates of the Caribbean 3. My reason for this is it's a lot shorter. It's also a lot more repetitive than Overwatch, so I don't think it quite deserves God tier. But I will also be moving Overwatch up into God tier, just behind James Bond. Victory will also be going down into hard tier. I'll still put it above Black Panther, but I don't think it's worthy of God tier yet. Okay, I'll move James Bond to just behind Echoes from the Past. I could still definitely see it being SS plus tier. I'm just not quite sure yet. I'm going to be moving Dark Knight to above Heart of Courage, as I think it's slightly more difficult, and I've had a few comments saying it's been underrated, so I think we'll do that. I'm still unsure on Oppenheimer. There's a massive debate going on in one of my polls. So yeah, I'm not too sure where to put that one. So I'll leave it in hard tier just for now. First cover I'll be reviewing is called Losing Myself. It was suggested from this comment. It's actually pretty hard to find on YouTube. It's only got about 10k views, which for Patrik Pietschmann is basically nothing. It was posted about 5 years ago. I'll put a link to it down in the description. It's pretty hard to compare this piece to other arrangements just because it's more classical, really. It's less flashy, and I really love the emotion that he puts into the song. I think that in itself is worthy of Divine. But the complexity of the actual arrangement, I'd say bottom end of hard, I'd say. I think the semiquavers which he plays are all pretty much in the same hand position. You can play them really quickly without too much difficulty. I think I'll put it just above Chronicles of Narnia. But yeah, that's a really hard one to rank, that one. The next piece we have is from Spirit, the Stallion of the Cimarron. This piece has an absolutely beautiful melody. It's super long as well, it's almost 10 minutes. It's one of my favourites that I've looked at so far. There's a few left-hand arpeggiated figurations, but it's not too difficult, fairly manageable. Saying that though, it does ramp up significantly in the later stages of the piece, so I think it does deserve God tier. I'll put it just above Overwatch. Actually no, I changed my mind. I'm moving it to above Pirates of the Caribbean. The next piece we have is The Last Samurai. So there's some very difficult left-hand arpeggiated motion, which accompanies the left-hand melody at about 1 minute in. A lot of contra motion semiquavers in both hands. It's also just relentless. It pretty much continues right to the end of the piece. With that said, I think it's definitely worthy of SS plus tier, and we'll put it just behind Harry Potter. The next piece we have is Maestro. It's fairly repetitive. You do have some massive chords which sort of go into arpeggiated motion with the left hand, and that's extremely difficult to coordinate. at least for me personally. There's a lot of similar motion with embedded melody, and again, that's pretty typical of these type of arrangements. I think this might be another God tier. Yeah, we'll put it in God tier and we'll put it just behind Pirates of the Caribbean. The next cover we have is the Force theme from Star Wars. There's a lot of irregular arpeggiated motion. If you don't know, irregular just means it's not just the same group of notes going up and down. It changes midway through, and that increases the complexity quite drastically. And you see that a lot in this arrangement. There's a lot of big octave jumps later on. That's also hard to coordinate with both hands. I'll put it in hard tier, just behind Frozen, Let It Go. The next piece we have is extremely requested. We'll be reviewing The Mandalorian. Before I give it a ranking, I just want to say it's an extremely intense piece. I actually love it so much. There's a lot of hard octave coordination between, in both hands. It's also a pretty fast tempo, especially with those parallel thirds, which are played later on, and pretty much just incessant semiquaver movement throughout the entire piece. With that said, I think I'll place it in hard tier, and I'll put it just above My Name's Lincoln. The next piece we have is On the Other Side of the World. There are some extremely difficult runs in that piece, very difficult runs, especially to play them in time. I feel like a lot of the sections are relatively straightforward, but those runs and the octave jumps and coordination, that all definitely increases the difficulty quite a lot, I'd say. So yeah, I think I'll be putting it in SS plus tier, just behind Star Wars. Let me know in the comments on that one. The next piece we have is Light of the Seven. This piece has a fairly easy beginning, a few right hand figurations. I think they're not too difficult though, because the hand position's pretty much in the same place. There's some difficult similar motion which moves into the same thing but with an octave melody incorporated within it. So there's a little bit of independence required there, a little bit of concentration. And with that said, I think that is the hardest section, so it's not too bad overall. So I'll be putting it in hard tier, just behind Requiem for a Dream. The next piece we have is Reigns of Castamere. This is also a Game of Thrones arrangement. This piece is also pretty difficult. There's a lot of right hand arpeggios, most of which aren't regular. I think I'll put it in hard tier. I know I've done a lot of hard tiers today, but I don't think it's worthy of God tier, and I don't think it's easy enough to be medium. Yeah, so we'll put it in hard tier. We'll put it just above Avatar, the main theme. And with that, this concludes episode 6 of the series of ranking Patrik Pietschmann's covers in order of insanity. As always, if you have any opinions, any differing opinions, any comments to make, let me know in the comments. We can start a discussion there. But as usual, I'll flash up the modified Excel document, and I promise I won't get the playlist end screen element in the way, thanks to the person who let me know. But yeah, I'm really glad that everyone's enjoying the series, and yeah, I hope to see you in part 7.